Welcome!
Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and Part 5 to What If Roman Reigns Was in The Walking Dead. Before we get into it, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage, where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, both Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around, turning on all Omniversal notifications, and commenting future requests and expectations in the comments section. With all that said, let's begin. We dive into Troy Otto's next step of torture. Troy wasn't kept alive to acknowledge Roman Reigns after Roman punished him and after Solo spiked him a few times. He was kept alive because Roman knew he wouldn't acknowledge him. So now, this is the true put-in test for acknowledgement to Roman Reigns, the revenge for Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline's wise man, and Walker's tribe, and making sure Troy Otto knows his place. And that's what Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and the rest of the Bloodline is kept back at the gas station and all of the Bloodline's home for. True punishment. Braun Breaker almost splits Troy in half over and over again, spear after spear. Bronson Reed tsunamis Troy over and over again, just like he did with Seth Rollins. Jacob Fatu finds whatever ledges and pieces of the land that they are on to moonsault without hurting himself in the process on to Troy Otto. Except it's way different without being in a wrestling ring. So, they obviously have to be careful. If he wouldn't be able to do that, Jacob Fatu could definitely hurt Troy in many other ways. Talatonga, or Haikalu, choke slams Troy on the hard ground over and over again. And Solo Samoan spikes Troy and finishes the assault by the Bloodline by Samoan slamming him into the ground. But even after all this, Troy Otto, down on the ground, pretty much almost unconscious, shows that his resilience, superhuman-like skill and strength, and durability keep him and his own attitude and resolve from acknowledging or even bowing down to the Bloodline. He still won't give in. Roman Reigns is like, that you don't want me to go ahead and make you acknowledge me and the Bloodline, because you've already seen what I'm capable of. And then he gets serious and says, "You took my wise man from me. And we've tried to take everything away from you. Your confidence, your body, you still won't give. So I'm going to ask you one time before the games stop. Troy Otto."
Acknowledge me!
But Troy still won't do it. And Roman Reigns is utterly astounded, and he screamed it in his face. His whole bloodline assaulted him. He almost killed him. And Troy still will not give in and surrender and bow down to the bloodline or him. So Roman Reigns says, "Fine. Don't say you weren't warned. Now the games end. Now I'm going to put you in the ground, just like you put my wise man." And Superman punch after Superman punch, Roman Reigns unleashes it all on Troy, even more so than he did before. This is Roman Reigns at his prime, his most fiercest anger and resolve. And then he throws his body and arms back and oohs, gearing up for a spear. And just before he can do it, Troy Otto begs for forgiveness and says, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. I acknowledge the bloodline. Just hear me out. And Roman Reigns, he's very perplexed and surprised by this sudden change up. Troy's actually starting to see where he's gone wrong and finally knows his place. But he's also curious as to what hearing this guy out who killed his wise man would even benefit the tribal chief or the bloodline. But he's in a good mood because he's finally broken Troy Otto. So he decides to hear him out. Troy says he acknowledges Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. He acknowledges the bloodline as the saviors under one condition. He wants to be Roman Reigns' wise man. And Roman Reigns is utterly astounded and just feeling full of humor at this act of stupidity or confusion. He thinks that himself and the bloodline literally broke Troy so much that he has brain damage, like literally. He wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Like the amount of damage they've done to him, he wouldn't be surprised. But Roman Reigns says, what makes you think that I would ever accept you as my wise man? Especially after you killed mine. Was that the end goal here? Or are you just trying to get in favor with me so you can kill me too? Because remember what Roman Reigns said about Sammy and like during his reign, you always gotta keep eyes in the back of your head with power, you know? So it's not wrong for Roman Reigns to be insinuating this, and we all know how Troy Otto operates. But Troy says no. If he was going to kill him, he would have done it already. If he was going to, demonstrate another like plan or way of thinking, he would have done that already. The bloodline have broken him so much. He is not the Troy Otto that shot down Paul Heyman, their wise man. So the only way that Troy can make up for it, the only way Troy Otto can show allegiance and acknowledgement to Roman Reigns as his tribal chief and acknowledge the bloodline, Walker's tribe in it or not, is to become the wise man. It's not for them. It's not just for him. It's for the world. And he knows how the world works. He knows how the bloodline in Walker's tribe works. And he also knows how Madison and everybody there works. He knows that if he becomes Roman Reigns' wise man, the world is theirs. And Roman Reigns contemplates this and thinks about it for a second. And honestly, Troy makes some really good points. He hates to admit it, especially after Troy took Paul Heyman from him, because that was very, very personal. But he smiles and accepts it because he has broken Troy Otto to the point that not only does he acknowledge him and the bloodline, but he's gone so far as to want to be his wise man. And honestly, Roman Reigns is on top of the world right now. The dam is theirs, the farm is theirs, this place is theirs, and now Troy is theirs. And his wise man. So he accepts it. But Roman Reigns says, understand this. The minute that I think you're going to betray me, whatever part of you that's left in there, I not only break it, you will be hung in a memorial to those who failed to acknowledge me. And with that, as I said, the dam is theirs, the farm is theirs, This place is theirs. Everything. Roman Reigns begins what Walker brought in the fold for him. That idea. Not only to save this world and make it his and the bloodlines and Walker's people, but to start one by one getting landmarks, communities for the bloodline. And these three are just the start. There will not be a massive horde that Troy sent because there's no need. And there won't be the Proctors because they're absolutely no match. And honestly, there's absolutely no point in bringing them in. And there won't be that pickaxe lady who's friends with Alicia for half an episode, not even, because even if she was introduced, there'd be no point in introducing her. Now we get into the 4th season. How will Morgan, John, and Alethea and everybody else bring in to the fold of Roman Reigns and the bloodline? Will Morgan, John, and everybody else acknowledge the bloodline? Or will they follow suit in Roman Reigns' conquest to save The Walking Dead in his and the bloodline's image? And what about Daniel following the final boss in continuing What If Roman Reigns Was in The Walking Dead?
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!